Please stand in body or spirit for our songs of welcome. Spirit of life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots fully close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? For all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such great harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? All of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Please remain standing. Sorry, I didn't. Psych. And join me in the words of our covenant found on our screen. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its call. Let this be our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Whoever you are, whomever you love, Wherever you are on your life journey, you are welcome here.
Whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here.
My name is Susie Nord, and I get to serve as today's worship leader of this caring, curious, and ever-evolving congregation. It is good to be here.
Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
Please be seated.
Good morning. Welcome to worship. It's so good to be here with you today, in person and online. My name is Bevan Tulk, and I will serve today as your worship associate for this music-loving, child-embracing congregation. We are here to support each other on our own and our shared spiritual journey, centered in love, compassion, curiosity, courage, and joy. I'm especially happy to welcome any first-time and returning visitors. If you are a visitor, we hope that you find us a community eager to welcome you and respectful of the path that has brought you here this morning. Oh, here it is. Anyone wearing one of these wonderful, colorful stoles, I'm glad I didn't wear my tie today, is glad to answer any of your questions that you may have. There's also written info in your what's today's date? There's written information in the pew folders at the visitors table for you to take. For our online participants, it would be wonderful if you could introduce yourself on the chat and let us know that you're with us. Our church buildings are located on the traditional homelands of the Pennacook Abenaki people, past and present. We acknowledge and honor with gratitude the land, the people who have stewarded it here for generations.
I got it, yeah. Definitely need the box. So, first and foremost, you may have noticed that at the piano is Mandy. And she came in, more than 12 hours ago, but less than 24. So we are in her debt. We think she's a goddess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For a complete listing of church events and news, check out our weekly e-bulletin or a copy of Parish Notes, our monthly newsletter. Here are a few highlights. After the service, please join us for social time in the courtyard. The Love in Action group has contributed some special goodies for us today. Yay. Family Service Project. We are still collecting toiletries to be distributed by the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness. We are extending our collection window until August 23rd. There is a box on the table in the parlor. Please consider donating sunscreen, bug spray, cotton socks, travel-size deodorant, shampoo and body wash, and Band-Aids for warm weather bags for unhoused people in our community. Join us as we create beautiful and ecologically friendly grounds. We'd love to have you join us for the next Grounds ELM work morning, Sunday, August 23rd at 8:30 and or after the service. Thank you to all our dedicated volunteers who work tirelessly to keep our grounds beautiful. A heartfelt thank you. Our yearly floor waxing is scheduled for Thursday, August 13th, so there will be limited access to the building. Each week, we light our chalice to set this time apart and to mark it as sacred. If you are at home and you have a candle or a chalice ready, I invite you to light it now as Bevan lights our chalice in the sanctuary.
It's gone. I have no idea.
We're good.
Good morning. Welcome to today's service, organized by the Love in Action Committee. It is good to be here. The service today is inspired by the Unitarian Universalist Association initiative called You, the Vote. What began in 2020 as an election year initiative has grown into a year-round movement, mobilizing people of faith to defend voting rights for all, strengthen democratic participation, and organize to build a more humane and just society. The You, the Vote statement says that we have a responsibility to lift up the marginalized and the suffering, and that we act with love that is bold enough to confront systems of oppression. The Concord UU Love in Action Committee has organized the service around the theme of personal activism to resist governmental suppression of Unitarian Universalist values, including love, justice, equality, compassion, and inclusivity. Love in Action was formed in 2025 in response to the growing threat of authoritarianism in the United States, including the violations of constitutional rights, of the rule of law, and of rules of common decency. It is a place for people in the congregation to discuss the impact of the current administration and to coordinate with local organizations to educate and be active in positive change. This is an unprecedented time in our nation's history. It calls us to search our hearts and to ask how we can commit to love in action. Building a world where all people are free and thriving requires hope. But what is hope without action. We seek to inform people about the injustice and harm occurring today in this state and in this nation. But love cannot be silent and idle. In the face of cruelty and injustice, we offer concrete actions so we can all make a difference. Whether it be calling or writing elected officials, sending a letter to the editor, attending or even testifying at a New Hampshire State House hearing, writing and sending postcards to voters, or serving food at the local food pantry, love calls us to action. Positive change has always required engagement, courage, and hope. Together, with love at the center, we can choose to act out our Unitarian, Universalist values and commit to doing what we can to make the world a more just and loving place. And now, we're happy to have Mike Bradley and Chris O'Connor here to sing It's Our Flag Too, written by Mike Bradley.
It's our flag too. Yeah, the red, white, and blue. For the many, not the few. Our flag too. Our flag too. Christian, Muslim, or Jew. LGBT and Q. It's our flag too. When did land of the brave and the free turn to the venom? Don't tread on me. Why must make America great? Mean prejudice and hate. It's our flag too. Yeah, the red, white, and blue. For the many, not the few. Our flag too. Our flag too. Christian, Muslim, or Jew. LGBT and Q. It's our flag too. Why did it draw the circle wide? Turn to keep the other outside. And why must your value, your place, be based on the color of your face? It's our flag too. Yeah, the red, white, and blue. For the many, not the few. Our flag too. Our flag too. Christian, Muslim, or Jew, LGBT and Q. It's our flag too. When did send us your oppressed and your poor? Turn to slam, shut the golden door. And the red and white stripes turn to bars, excluding some from the stars. It's our flag too. Yeah, the red, white, and blue. For the many, not the few. Our flag too. Our flag too. Christian, Muslim, or Jew. LGBT and Q. It's our flag too. For the many, not the few. It's our flag too.
Would you please repeat after me? It is a blessing to be. It is a blessing to be here. It is a blessing to be here now. It is a blessing to be here now together. Please rise and body your spirit as we sing number 159 in our gray hymnal, This Is Our Song, and the words will be up here for you.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean. The sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a hope of peace for their land and for mine.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Cashin, and that picture is the picture of one of the happiest, magical moments of my life, because that picture was taken 15 minutes after New Hampshire repealed its death penalty in May of 2019. At that time, I was chair of the New Hampshire Coalition to abolish the death penalty, and I had been chair for 13 years. In 2006, I left my job as a public defender, a job I had held for 14 years and loved, and applied to become the first legal director of the ACLU of New Hampshire. And I got the job. One of the things that motivated me was the chance to work on abolition and repeal of the death penalty in New Hampshire. And I worked on it as one of my top priorities for the 7 years that I was with the ACLU. Every year we would bring a bill, be defeated. Bring a bill, be defeated. Work every single year to get a bill, get sponsors for a bill, call legislators, write letters to the editors, beg for funding. It goes on and on and on and on and on, the things that you have to do. Until finally, in 2019, the legislature finally said yes. So there are four kind of overlapping takeaways that I'm going to talk a little bit about that picture today. The first is that in order to get something achieved, justice, equity, peace, it takes perseverance. It takes a lot of grunt work. It takes a lot of organizing, takes a lot of telephone calls, takes a lot of begging, it takes a lot of defeat, it takes a lot of getting up and brushing yourself off and trying again and again and again. And ultimately, if you're lucky, you can achieve your goals if you're lucky. But no one who has worked for justice or peace or equity will tell you that it's easy. It's a slog. The second thing I'm going to tell you is even harder, and that is that for most of us, we will never have that moment that I had of standing on top of the mountaintop and addressing a crowd that was cheering in victory. For most of us who are working for equity, for justice, for peace, that will simply never happen. When I came out of the State House that day, it was 15 minutes after the legislator had voted to repeal the death penalty. And in that 15 minutes, I needed to gather myself. And the things that I thought about, the people that I thought about, were the people that had stood by my side for 13 years and had worked with me for 13 years who were no longer there. The people who had worked as hard as I had, who had with passion, great passion, with great love, with great compassion, had spent their time calling legislators and attending hearings and writing letters, and had not lived to see the ultimate victory that we were experiencing that day. So the lesson is that this is a journey. And the journey, for many of us, we will never arrive at the destination. You know, I think about the Hebrews who were in the Exodus from Egypt, and they went for 2 generations marching to the promised land. But the people who started that journey, not one single one of them got to the promised land. So what's the takeaway? That you have to embrace the journey. Embrace the journey is what there is for most justice work. Not the mountaintop, not the goal necessarily, but it's the journey. So you have to love the journey and love the people that you are on the journey with. So choose your journey carefully. As you hear today, there are many ways to make a difference in this world. What is your way? What is going to feed you? What is going to motivate you and keep you putting one step in front of another step, in front of another step, in front of another step? The next takeaway is to simply show up. That picture was the result of, for me, 13 years of work, for many others, more decades of work. And as you know, the New Hampshire legislature has 400 representatives and 25 senators. So for most of the time that we were fighting to repeal the death penalty, our magic number was 214. 201 reps and 13 senators. And time after time after time, we didn't get there, we didn't get there, we didn't get there. Finally, we got there, and the governor vetoed our repeal bill. So this day, the legislature was called back into session, and it was called back into session for one reason and one reason only, and that was to see if they could override the governor's veto. There was only going to be one vote that day, and it was going to be on the death penalty. And the override was successful by one vote. So I think about that all the time, that the heroes of that day were the people that showed up. And I think about the representatives who came, virtually from Canada in Coas County and drove for hours to come down to Concord and would have to drive back hours again to show up for a single vote. How easy would it have been to say, no, I can't do this today, not for one vote. I think the people who didn't have a good night's sleep the night before and who woke up and said, I'm tired, or I'm getting a cold, or I'm exhausted, I just can't make it today, and who came anyway. That one vote, that single person who, despite whatever inconvenience or despite whatever obstacles they had, came to the State House today and cast that vote, that person is a hero, and that person changed the course of history in New Hampshire. So show up. Simply show up. Write that one last letter, send that one last dollar, call that one rep one more time. And the other final takeaway is the joyful takeaway, that victory is possible. It is possible. In the course of our country, we abolished slavery. Women got the right to vote. In my lifetime, gay people could marry. And New Hampshire repealed its death penalty. Victory is possible. It is possible. So, my final message to you, as good you use, is persevere. Justice, peace, equity is possible. Keep on showing up, and meanwhile, embrace the journey.
We now turn to the joys and the sorrows we carry individually and as a community. Will you take a breath with me? As we surrender to this moment, let us notice our body resting, grounded, supported by the earth. As the piano begins to play, you are invited to come forward, light a candle, or place a stone at the table to your right, or add a note to the holding our grief wheel. Today's joys and sorrows we will hold in silence with no public sharing at the microphone. now invite Donna to light one more candle on behalf of those who are not with us today or who chose to remain seated. Whether your joys or sorrows have been named or remain in the silence of your heart, know that you are not alone. May we hold our earth in our hearts with joy in her nature, in awe of her majesty, power, and resilience, taking responsibility for the hurts we have caused her. Will you take another breath with me? This week we hold in love Tondi McGowan and Quinn Fisher. Please join in the spirit of prayer as we sing number 1032 in our teal hymnal, Dayuna Nayish.
Naish
Good morning. What a beautiful day, steamy day. It is my honor to introduce Ann Grossi, who is here representing UU Action New Hampshire, one of 23 state social action networks across the country, working to build a more just and equitable New Hampshire. Ann serves as the president of UU Action New Hampshire. She has spent countless hours visiting UU congregations across New Hampshire, building relationships and strengthening connections among churches, community partners, and advocacy organizations, ensuring that no one engaged in this work has to do it alone. Her leadership embodies the connection between our values and our actions, helping Unitarian Universalists turn concern into engagement and hope into meaningful change. Through initiatives such as UU The Vote, she encourages people of faith to strengthen democracy, advocate for justice, and build communities where everyone can flourish. As we move closer to the midterm elections, many people in New Hampshire are facing challenges to voting. For some, navigating registration requirements, residency documentation, or changing election laws can create real barriers to participation. At a time when trust in institutions is strained and civic engagement is more important than ever, helping people understand their rights and access the ballot is an act of both justice and care for our community. In today's sermon, Ann will share UU Action New Hampshire's perspective on shared knowledge and social action, exploring how informed engagement, community connection, and collective effort can help us live our values and create positive change. Before we hear from Anne, here is Northern Lights singing Tending the Spark by Heather Houston.
And we will care. Whoops. Let's get that note again. Let's get that note again. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, let it grow. And we will care for each other.
Good morning. I'm here representing Unitarian Universalist Action New Hampshire. My name is Ann Grossi, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the president of the Board of Directors, or as we call it, the leadership team. UU Action New Hampshire, as you have heard, is one of 23 state social action networks in the United States. Our mission is to create a more just and equitable New Hampshire for all. I'm here to speak with you about knowledge and about social action. As I do, I will talk about the goals that UU Action New Hampshire has set for itself. Social justice and social action are cornerstones of Unitarian Universalism. Those cornerstones are sometimes summarized as deeds, not creeds. But before I start down the path of social action, let's start with an imagining exercise. A couple of months ago, I was at an event for one of UU Action's state partners. A minister spoke, and he asked us to use our imagination. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing this morning. So if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Take another breath in and exhale slowly out. Now imagine yourself in a park with trees and lots of grass. Imagine a small body of water in the middle of that park. It is a beautiful, sunny day. Look around. You will see all kinds of families, some with parents, one of each gender, some with parents of the same gender, some with one parent, some with grandparents. There are children of all ages. The families and the children are white, black, brown, and some adults and children wear clothing from their culture. The adults are talking and are friendly with one another. The children are playing together. All the adults present have a job where they make a decent wage. They are not rich, but live in housing where they pay a reasonable monthly housing bill without worrying about money. All of these families live within a reasonable distance to a food market. Imagine all of these people have health care where they pay $5 or $10 to see a doctor. The children go to schools that are well supplied and where teachers are well paid and respected. The American history that is taught in those schools provides a complete picture of the United States and not a stilted one. All children can expect their education to be free, right through college. All the adults that are citizens participate in their local elections and never worry about being turned away at the polls. How does it feel to be in this park? Is this the future that you seek? Now open your eyes. First, we have to imagine what we want. Then, we have to obtain knowledge about how to get there. Then, we have to connect. Then, we have to act. I recently read a UUA article called Knowledge Management at Justice Work, a UU Reflection by Kim Rebecca Murray. Ms. Murray spoke about reflecting on the Unitarian Universalist for Social Justice's conversation with Reverend Dr. Liz Theoharis. And because of that conversation, her article reflected on her own activism, advocacy, and economic justice. I see economic justice as incorporating all the other social justice issues: climate justice, housing justice, healthcare justice, fair wage justice, voting rights justice, education justice, racial justice. I see economic justice this way because in our country, Those people who are suffering economically are usually the people deeply affected by climate issues, housing issues, healthcare issues, fair wage issues, voting issues, education issues, racial issues. As I read the article, a few things stood out to me. Rebecca Murray said, throughout the United States, history progress toward justice has depended on intentional knowledge sharing. The leadership team for UU Action needed to decide over a year ago what to do and how to do it, so we decided to be a hub for knowledge by providing information and education for UU churches, congregants, and for anyone in New Hampshire. We decided that there are many nonprofits doing advocacy work in New Hampshire, and we could partner with them on those issues, but that what we wanted to be was intentional and provide knowledge. So we set about offering free educational events online. And this past year, there were social justice issue events on LGBTQ+, incarceration and the New Hampshire Community Bail Fund, 287G contracts with ICE, immigration and community engagement, the Free Staters in the New Hampshire legislature, voting rights, and we had two in-person events on climate justice and one on anti-racism. Kim Rebecca Murray writes, justice requires shared knowledge. That really struck me. In today's political climate in the United States and in New Hampshire, we all get overwhelmed. We recognize the injustices, but can sometimes feel helpless and hopeless. How do you move out of that hopeless state? How do you challenge these injustices? First, you have to imagine how it could be. Then think about the tools you need. Education is a tool. Sharing your learnings is a tool. These tools move you toward connection and toward action. UU Action New Hampshire has gotten speakers from around the state to share their knowledge, answer questions, expand the knowledge base of people. Many of these events have been jumping off points for churches, communities, and individuals to act in their communities. Learning about a social justice issue makes it easier to act on it. The more accurate information people have, the better prepared they are to come together. Knowledge can help you decide what issues you want to advance and how to respond. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Malcolm X said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The first stanza of Gina Rush's poem, Thirst for Knowledge, says, knowledge is the gift of time, to hoard it, an atrocious crime. For with the transfer of your skill, another's thirst you will fulfill. Sharing knowledge fits with our UU value of generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We strive to freely, compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Returning to Kim Rebecca Murray's article, she writes, faith communities are not just observers of this moment, we are participants in shaping what comes next. For us at UU Action New Hampshire, learning is the beginning of connection. UU Action's first goal to be an information and education hub so that knowledge is acquired and shared. The second goal is to build connections. I've been visiting different UU churches around the state and plan to continue doing that over this fall and during the winter. The purpose is to introduce UU Action New Hampshire and its goals, but also to learn what each church is working on for social justice. And then the most important part, support those churches and support them in their work and help them to partner and connect with other UU churches and with state organizations and to the community. There are many good things being done by New Hampshire UU churches, and some churches are very active with other organizations in their community. Some need a little more additional support to make those connections. UU Action hopes to be that bridge. UU Action also wants to connect UU churches to one another so they're not working in silos, and so that UU values can be voiced in the communities and across the state. Connections build power. Drop a pebble in the water, just a splash, and it is gone. But there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on, spreading from the center, flowing out to the sea, and there is no way of telling where the end is going to be. That's the first stanza from a poem by James W. Foley. So this year I spoke at Laconia UU Church and met with their social justice team. That was one of the churches I went to. They talked about many things they were doing out in their church and out in their community. And one of the things they mentioned they were working on was landscaping around their church and using native plants. And they talked to me about why that was important. Then later on, at another time, not too long ago, I met with a small group here at your church to talk about UU Action, but also to learn what kinds of things were happening here. One person spoke about being in the Green Sanctuary group and the group working on moving towards native plants. UU Action connected that Laconia person and the Concord person. I hope that was successful. A neighborhood support team in Bedford, New Hampshire, started by a group of churches, reached out to UU Action about an Afghan family that they had been supporting for the last 5 years. UU Action New Hampshire wrote a piece on their work and sent it out to our subscribers in our newsletter. And in our most recent newsletter, there's an update on that family and the urgent need that they have right now. So someone read the initial article from UU Manchester and then contacted UU Action and asked to be connected to the neighborhood support team because the people at UU Manchester were interested in knowing how the team started and how they functioned because they were hoping they might be able to do the same thing. We connected them. UU Peterborough started using the toolkit for UU The Vote, as Betsy mentioned today, that there's being used here. And they said they were happy to share what they were doing. So UU Action put that in one of our emails on voting. UU Milford asked to be connected to Peterborough. At our last online event on voting rights, 2 people who are working on a voting rights project on the Seacoast and associated with South Church in Portsmouth connected with people from UU Peterborough. And the Seacoast project is now being shared in the Monadnock region. Connections build power. UU Action New Hampshire has a member council with representatives from some of the UU churches. We are looking to grow the member council. The member council provides churches with a voice to help direct the shared knowledge goal of UU Action New Hampshire. The council has been essential to the leadership team in letting us know what education is wanted by their churches and is needed in New Hampshire, thus directing UU Action's choice of speakers and events. The member council is there to empower interconnectedness and to provide support. Some UU churches have joined with other community groups to have a greater impact in the community. Some churches have joined with one another on social justice issues and are acting together in the community. Through UU Action, churches have reached out to one another on social justice and social actions. Drop a pebble in the water, just a splash and it is gone. But there's 500 ripples circling on and on and on. Connections build power. Love and connections cause positive change in our communities and in our state. UU Action New Hampshire is there to support and foster those connections. We are there to build the future we can imagine that we seek. So what comes after the education? Sharing knowledge and connecting. Action. Acting in our churches, our communities, our state. None of us want to get stuck in just being an observer and not living out our faith. We can learn, we can connect, we can share, we can band together in that goodness and look to those who can provide and lean into our faith. Lean into our faith and love. In banding together, we can act, we can challenge injustices. If we learn about injustices and we're not engaged, then we are prone to hopelessness. It's better to be of use than to feel hopeless. Deeds, not creeds. There's a poem by Marge Piercy called To Be of Use that I really like. The people I love the best jump into the work head first without dallying in the shadows and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I know people who harness themselves an ox. I love people who harness themselves an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like a water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals, field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums. But you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. Kim Rebecca Murray writes, our faith calls us to act not only from compassion, but from clarity, to make visible the knowledge, structures, and practices that sustain inequity, and to transform them into systems of shared power and shared possibility. Justice doesn't scale without shared knowledge, and shared knowledge doesn't endure without love. Grace Lee Boggs, an American author, social activist, philosopher, and feminist, said in an excerpt, I'm often asked what keeps me going after all these years. I think it's the realization that there is no final struggle. Whether you win or lose, each struggle brings forth new contradictions, new and more challenging questions. We're beginning to understand the world is always being made fresh and never finished. That our activism is a journey rather than arrival. Love isn't about what we did yesterday. It is about what we do today, tomorrow, and the day after. Activism, today, tomorrow, and the day after is what is a relatively new group in your church is leaning into, love in action. They are leaning into deeds. They are leaning into the sacred work of love, and their name even says it, love in action. This group has seen injustices in New Hampshire, has become educated on an issue, and has chosen to work on voting rights in New Hampshire. Even before this most recent legislative session, New Hampshire was the most difficult state in the United States to vote in. Now, with even more new voting laws, injustices will occur at the next cycle of elections unless people act on educating and assisting people with the voting process. The Love in Action team has decided to act in the community to ensure justice and equity around voting. They want to share their knowledge with people in this church and in the community. They want to connect. They want to act on this issue so that injustices do not occur. If we learn about injustices but are not engaged in challenging injustice, then we are prone to hopelessness. Will you jump in and work with them? Will you move towards hope? Will you learn? Will you act? Will you enact? Love in action? The last two stanzas of Chuck Carlstrom's poem, Love, Faith, and Action, say, love blooms with deep trust, while faith comes from caring's fruits. Empathy is sweet nourishment. Sharing doth waters love's deep roots. Faith without works is dead. Love without actions is empty. Only from their wondrous interplay will love and actions bloom aplenty. Bernice King, the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., said, justice is love lived out. Justice isn't revenge. It's realignment with love. Justice realigns culture with love. Justice realigns the climate with love. Justice realigns policies with love. Justice holds institutions accountable for love. Justice is love we can witness. For action on justice to occur, love must be at the center. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. That love shows up through education, sharing, faith, trust, and action. So let's imagine the future that we want. Let's drop pebbles in the water. Let's come together. Let's learn, share, trust, connect, and act. Let's perform deeds. And I will close with a poem called The Human Connection by Daniel Farnham. We share this theater together and watch the act patiently. We applaud those who perform well, and even louder and harder for those who only had the courage to try. We watch the dancers on the stage, our youth on stage, ourselves on stage. It is beautiful. It is raw. It is real. It is not perfect, and some will fall, but we all feel together. We lift each other up. It is love. We are all together on the stage as actors, as graceful dancers, brilliant musicians, performing as one. We are all connected in the audience as proud parents, as loving relatives, and respectful friends, cheering as one. It is not perfect. It is life. Raw and real. Some will fall, but we all feel together and will lift each other up as one for ourselves and for each other. And I'll close with words from my home church. The service begins when the service ends. Let it be so.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you for your generous support of last week's outreach offering to support the Friendly Kitchen. Today's community plate will support our outreach ministries, including UU Action New Hampshire, which coordinates social justice efforts for Unitarian Universalist congregations. Kind of feel like we know this, don't we? They hold a monthly vigil outside the federal courthouse in Manchester in solidarity with New Hampshire immigrants. Recently, UU Action New Hampshire hosted workshops focused on confronting racism and environmental justice. Our morning offering will now be gratefully received.
Helps if I'm plugged in. When I closed my eyes so I would not see, my Lord did trouble me. When I let things stand that should not be, my Lord did trouble me. When I held my head too high, too proud, my Lord did trouble me. When I raised my voice too little, too loud, my Lord did trouble me, did trouble me. With a word or a sign, with the ringing of the bell in the back of my mind, did trouble me, did stir my soul, for making me human, to make me whole. When I slept too long and slept too deep, my Lord did trouble me, put a worrisome vision into my sleep. My Lord did trouble me. When I held myself away and apart, did trouble me. And the tears of my brother didn't move my heart. My Lord did trouble me. With a word or a sign, with the ringing of the bell in the back of my mind, did trouble me, did stir my soul, for to make me human, to make me whole. And of this I'm sure, of this I know, my Lord will trouble me. Whatever I do and wherever I go, my Lord will trouble me. In the whisper of the wind, in the rhythm of a song, my Lord will trouble me. To keep me on the path where I belong, my Lord will trouble me, will trouble me. With a word or a sign, with the ringing of the bell in the back of my mind, will trouble me, will stir my soul, for to make me human, to make me whole, make me human, to make me whole, make me human, to make me whole.
May we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. Please rise, embody your spirit for our closing hymn, number 1017 in our teal hymnals, Building a New Way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love that is the seed. We can feed our every need. We have freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Go out into the world in peace. Honor one another. Listen with an open heart. Stay curious. Have courage. Be kind. Embrace the mystery. Welcome all and live always the way of love. I now invite you to extinguish your chalice at home as Betsy extinguishes our chalice up here in the sanctuary. And before we read the words aloud on the screen, I just want everybody to recognize all the hard work Betsy put into coordinating all of this. So please join me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of this faith we share, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join me in singing our unison benediction. If you are comfortable joining hands or elbows, go ahead and reach out. And if not, reach out with your heart to all of us worshiping with you, knowing that you are not alone.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
you.